Hi everyone, this is Asha Mangal from the Caregivers Support Group of Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, I write a weekly article in the Help Plus magazine of the Guardian newspaper. And today's topic will be how to balance work and caregiving. Many family caregivers are working professionals. Some of you may have retired to meet the demands of your new role, and because of the responsibilities and expenses of caring for a loved one, had no choice but to go back into the workforce. Your job inside and outside of the household are very demanding. Much focus and attention is needed for it. You often feel guilty when you are not able to give 100% to your job, and especially so if colleagues are not very understanding of the circumstances. The job at work then begins to feel more demanding, but you need the salary to help not only pay your bills, it's also used to care for your loved one. You have to balance medical bills, doctor's appointments, meals, and if that wasn't enough, before you get to work, you have to assist them in dressing, bathing, and eating. You feel like you're constantly juggling and balancing between your job and your caregiving role. How do you separate the two? Firstly, you need a strategy which comprises of Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and possibly a Plan D. This would help with caring for your loved one while keeping your job. Managing your day to day activities. Get organized because it's likely that you have a lot on your to do list. Now isn't the time to try to keep track of everything in your head. Create a family calendar so everyone knows what's happening and use it to track activities or doctor's appointments. If possible, ask siblings, friends, or family to help out and make a schedule that includes everyone. Now, many of us are doing this on our own. Your siblings live overseas and they don't understand, or they just can't be bothered. So it comes down to you. You know what? That's okay because you are a truly amazing person. You can do it, and you have been doing it all on your own. This is how you are going to continue doing it. So you break down the list of everything that needs to be done. You contact the Caregivers Support Group of Trinidad and Tobago, and we will sit down together and find a solution that will work for you and your loved one. It's not going to happen overnight, but at least you can rest easy until we get there. Visit your local agency on aging. There are many assistive programs available. You can inquire the Division of Aging about which is applicable to you or to your loved one. Any assistance that you can get, take it. Being proud and catching your tail makes absolutely no sense for either you or your caree. Read your employee handbook. Depending on the company you're working for, whether it be private or public, there may be policies on caregivers like flexible work options and family leave that may apply. You may also have access to an employee assistance program, which can be a helpful resource. Keep work separate as much as possible. Try to take care of caregiving duties in your personal hours rather than during your work hours. Schedule calls and doctor's appointments during your lunch hour and do your research on your loved one's condition after you've gone home for the day. Try to keep doctor's appointments in the afternoon, whereby you can probably come in early, work through your lunch, and leave early. By doing this, you'd have put in relevant hours and work done for the day. Have a backup plan that allows you to always stay on top of your responsibilities. In some cases, try to assist other co-workers with their workload. There may be a time when you have to leave work in a hurry. Make sure you have a co-worker or two who can step in your role if needed. Comes down to I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Remember to say thank you and show your appreciation towards your co-workers. This relationship goes a long way. How to talk to your manager or HR. If you're caring for a loved one, it's a significant part of your life and your manager or supervisor should probably have some idea. Making it known that you have an important commitment, but that you're making every effort to continue to put in 100% at work makes you look thoughtful and devoted to your job. Many of us caregivers don't want anyone to know, and in some cases we may have colleagues that love the gossip, but this is not your concern. You need this job more than ever, and you don't have the time to think about what other people have to say. Whether you say or not, they will still talk. So have that conversation with your superiors today. There is no need to go into all the nitty-gritty details about your caree, but just give the basics on how demanding this role can be sometimes. It is not that you don't value your job, but there may be times when you are so overwhelmed about the diseases affecting your career that you may seem lost or in a mood that may be offensive to your boss or colleagues. In many cases, you are not really aware and you end up apologizing. Maybe caring for your career and you can work at a coffee shop. It's a good idea to think about how your boss will feel about the changes you're suggesting and come up with a plan that meets as many of your needs and the company's as possible. As mentioned earlier, you may need to take initiatives on your own, such as when you are discussing a flexible schedule. Maybe suggest, I can come in for 7 a.m., work through my lunch, and if possible, leave at 3 p.m. And this can be done at least 2 to 3 times a week, or you can come in 2 hours later and work through your lunch. You have to also be flexible and don't expect your boss to be agreeable right away. And in some cases, the company may not have such policies or flexibility in place, depending on your job spec. Schedule a meeting. This isn't something you should bring up over coffee or in the break room. If you anticipate that you might need some time away, an adjustment to your schedule, or you simply want to let your boss or HR know that a situation is unfolding, set up a formal time to talk. You will both be more focused. Sometimes we want to start this conversation in the corridor or car park, but this topic is for a meeting that requires a structured conversation. Make a list and have your suggestions typed out. Provide your boss with a copy of the document so he or she can follow along with you. Make it clear that work is still your number one priority. If you're changing things at work, make sure your boss knows you have a plan for getting your work done. If you're leaving early but will be back at your computer at 9 p.m. to send out the emails, let him or her know. It's easier for your boss to be supportive if you're still a productive member of the team. Even if you have to put in hours over the weekend, do what needs to be done because you need this job and the salary that comes with it. Don't wait for an emergency to bring it up. If you can, have this discussion with your boss earlier rather than later. If you need to change your schedule or start telecommunicating, it may take time to make the transition. I know that it's difficult to start the communications because you have not fully grasped all that comes with the illness or are really prepared for what is going to happen in the next few days to come with you to the meeting. You may be feeling overwhelmed, and that is okay. But sometimes the support of a third person who you know is in your corner makes all the difference in the world. Always remember, we are here for you, and you are not alone. Join the Caregiver Support Group of Trinidad and Tobago today. You can give us a call or WhatsApp at 310-2742. This is Asha. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.